The Silent Story of Money. From the fall of Rome to today. When people think about the fall of Rome, they usually imagine the same scenes: barbarians at the gates, power struggles, assassinations, intrigues. But real collapse doesn't always come from outside. Sometimes it begins quietly, from within, unseen, unspoken. That's exactly what brought Rome down: the decay of its money. For centuries, the Roman economy revolved around the silver denarius. First minted around 211 BC, it was nearly pure silver, and everyone trusted it. Soldiers were paid with it, merchants traded in it, ordinary people saved with it. In short, the denarius wasn't just money. It was a symbol of Rome's power and stability. As long as people believed in Rome, they believed in its coin. But empires are expensive to run. Armies, roads, aqueducts, wars, all of them drained the treasury. When taxes couldn't keep up, emperors turned to an old trick: debasement. They began reducing the silver content of the denarius to mint more coins. The numbers tell the story. Under Augustus, the denarius was about 95% pure silver. By Caracalla's reign, it was down to 50%. By the mid-3rd century, it was almost entirely bronze with just a thin silver coating. People could see and feel the difference. As the money lost its value, prices soared. A loaf of bread that once cost a single denarius now cost dozens. Then came the vicious cycle. As confidence eroded, the government printed more. The more they printed, the higher prices rose. Soldiers demanded higher pay. Merchants refused the coins. People turned to barter. The economy that once fueled an empire was eating itself alive. During the so-called crisis of the 3rd century, Rome could barely breathe. Civil wars, plagues, invasions. Emperors rose and fell in months. But behind the chaos was one root cause: a broken financial system. Farmers abandoned their land. Trade collapsed. Taxes became meaningless. The government tried desperate measures: price controls, forced labor. But nothing worked. One emperor, Diocletian, thought he could stop the bleeding. In 301 AD, he issued the edict on maximum prices, fixing prices on everything from grain to labor and threatening death for violations. But money already meant nothing. You can't legislate value into a currency that's lost trust. Black markets flourished. Trade froze. People learned a hard truth: no law can rescue money once belief in it is gone. Eventually, the denarius was abandoned. Emperor Constantine introduced the gold solidus, restoring a measure of trust. But by then, the Western Empire was already fatally weak. The collapse of the currency had hollowed out Rome from within. It wasn't the barbarians who destroyed Rome. It was Rome's own money. And what about today? History doesn't repeat exactly, but its rhythm never changes. Rome's mistake lives on in modern times. The emperors thought they could fool their people. Today, governments do the same, printing money, manipulating interest rates, inflating away debts. The result? Always the same. Ordinary people pay. The wealthy stay protected and trust erodes. Remember Weimar Germany. In 1923, people carried their pay home in wheelbarrows. A loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks. Or Zimbabwe in the 2000s. Inflation so wild that prices doubled daily. Eventually, the country abandoned its own currency altogether. Every time the story was identical: if we just print a bit more, we can fix it. But it never worked, and now the same game is global. In 1971, the US dollar was cut loose from gold. Money became backed only by trust, but trust, like silver, wears away. We may not be hauling wheelbarrows of cash, but every purchase quietly costs us a little more of our worth. Lessons from Rome. Inflation is not an accident, it's a tool. The quietest tax in history. Real wealth isn't in paper or screens. It's in things that hold value when money doesn't. Land, skills, production, resources. Stability is never permanent. Romans believed their coin would always be sound. So did Germans in 1913. So did Zimbabweans in the 1980s. They were all wrong. History whispers. Systems decay slowly, then collapse all at once. When money loses meaning, society unravels. Trust disappears, trade halts, armies crumble, governments lose legitimacy. Rome's story isn't just ancient history, it's a mirror. And if we fail to look closely, we'll make the same mistake again. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History holds the answers, and I'll show you where to find them.